name is Kelly Martin. I'm a traditional and independently published author, and today we're going to talk about how to write a query letter. This was a topic voted on by you guys in the poll in the pros and cons of small presses, signing with small presses video. We're going to have another poll at the end of this video for next week's topic of a video that you want to see. When I sat down to write about the video that I wanted to make about how to write a query letter, I realized that there's more information that I can give in one video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a video today, and then on Thursday I'm going to have another video. Today's video is all about who to query, because who and how are kind of different, and it would make an extremely long video if I only talked about, or if I put both of them together. So today we're going to talk about who to query, how to find people to query, things you need to know before you query, and then on Thursday, we're going to talk about how to write your query letter. If you are wanting to be a traditionally published author, or you're just really curious about how to write a query, stick around. So, what is a query? A query is a letter that you send to an agent or a small publisher with the intent of wanting to work with them. Queries are essential in traditional publishing, and they are kind of difficult to write sometimes. So that's where this video comes in. I hope it's really helpful and that you take notes so you can know how to, or who to query your manuscript to. For this video, I want to give you pointers about finding who to query and give you some examples of where to find people to query. And if you're in the query trenches with me, leave a comment so we can be in it together. The first thing you need to start querying a manuscript is a completed manuscript. Not just your first draft, not just an idea unless it's for a nonfiction book. For a fiction book, you need to have a complete manuscript. It needs to be edited. It can be by you. I know Alexa Dunn says you don't have to have an editor to go over a book you're going to query, but you need to go over it. You need to make it as polished as you can before you send out your queries, because I know the mindset, the thinking is that a publisher or an agent or a small press may take forever to get a response back to you, and that you'll have time to write the rest of your story while you're waiting. But I will tell you that on Thursday of last week, I participated in Pit Mad. I got a request I got a lot, meaning to send the query in the first 10 pages. I did that on Saturday. 2 days later, I got a full request. If I didn't have a full manuscript, a complete manuscript, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't send it off. So I sent off my query letter again because she requested it, my manuscript, the full manuscript, and the synopsis, because I had it all together and ready. And I'd been through, actually I went through it again. I went through the manuscript again just to make sure that I couldn't find any errors. And when I started figuring out that I was only changing synonyms, then I'm like, okay, it's time to query. So that's my advice to you. When you start finding that you're tweaking little things, or you're tweaking synonyms, or you're changing words back and forth, it's time. It's time to start querying. Remember, you only get one chance at a first impression for that particular book, and you want to make it a good one. So, you may be saying to yourself, Kelly, how do I know who to send a query to? I have no idea who's an agent. I'm so glad you asked. I have some ways to help you. First thing that I did when I wanted to find out who to query is I went to some of my favorite authors who wrote in my genre, and I went to their Twitter bios. Authors generally, usually, a lot of times, have their agents in their Twitter bios, or they have their publishing, who they're publishing under, in their Twitter bios. You can go through that. You can click on the links. Once you click on the links, you can click the agent's name, then you can go to the agent's Twitter page, click on the agent's website, then click to see what they're looking for to see if it's something, if your book would fit into what they're looking for. So it takes some time. It takes a lot of time actually to find out who is a good fit for you to query, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. The next place you can look for people to query is kind of the same as author Twitter bios, but you can look in the back of books. Look in your favorite book, and in the very back of the book where it says dedications, a lot of times, or acknowledgments. A lot of times authors will put their agents in the acknowledgments of their books, and that's a way that you can kind of write down to see if that's somebody that you would be a good fit to query for. You can also, if you're looking for small presses, you can find books that you like. If this is a middle grade horror book, if you write middle grade horror, if you found this book, you could flip it open. You could go to the front page. Is that not pretty? It's beautiful. And under right here, it says it's published by Monster Ivy Publishing. So you can look up Monster Ivy Publishing. You can see that it's a small press. You can see what they're looking for, and you can see if they're open or closed to queries. I can tell you right now that they're closed. But that's a way to find out different presses that you can submit to. One of the best websites that I've ever found when I have been looking for agents is Query Tracker. It's querytracker.com. They have a free version and they have a paid version. The paid version is $25 a year, and I think it's totally worth it, especially if you're definitely trying to find an agent. Query Tracker is a website that you can search for agents based on your genre and based on your age range. So on the side, you put in what you want to look for or the genre that you write in your book. It'll make a list of agents that represent those kinds of books. So you have a whole list of people that you can write down, you can search, you can research, you can see if your book's a good fit. And it also tells you if they're open or closed to submissions. It tells you if they want email submissions or snail mail submissions. It tells you if they want an online form. It's awesome. Query Tracker is probably one of the best websites if you are trying to query your book. It also has comments on all of the agents, people who have queried them, people who have got offers. If you have the paid version, you can go in and see graphs. You can see how many fulls they requested by people who have put the information into Query Tracker. Like, it's not the agent that does it, it's just the people that's put it into it. You can see how many people that's used Query Tracker that have got full requests, that's got rejections, if they're helpful rejections, if they're form rejections. It's amazing. You can keep up with who you're querying. You can keep up with their responses to you. It's awesome, and I think it's definitely worth the $25 a year. The first time, I've done it for years. Sometimes I did it the free version, and I don't keep my subscription all the time unless I am actively searching for agents or if I'm querying a book. Query Tracker is better for agents trying to find an agent than a small press, because a lot of small presses aren't on there. But yeah, if you're looking for an agent, definitely look into Query Tracker. A free thing that you can look at is the Absolute Right forums, and I've talked about them before on the channel. Absolute Right forums is a website which is on the absoluteright.com. I think it's absoluteright.com/forums. I think that's what it is. I'll have it all in the description. It has lists of agents, and it has people be like, hey, I'm thinking about submitting to this agent, what do you think? And then it has people commenting on that particular agent. It's a good way to find agent names. It's a good way to find small publishers. It's a good way to find vanity presses and presses you don't want to use. So there's a section called recommendations or writers beware, and you can kind of see who people have had issues with throughout the life of the forum. So it's a really good place to get names. It's a really good place to see if it's a good fit for you. The next way to find an agent is to ask people that you know, or maybe even people you don't know, for recommendations. This works for small presses too. If you see that somebody has worked with a small press, that they worked with a small press with an agent, that they've worked with an agent in a bigger press, just people in general, talk to them, see how they have enjoyed their experience, see how their experience has went for them, and you can make your list that way. Now, I say all that to give this disclaimer. Be careful of smagents, as Alexa Dunn calls them. She has an amazing video that I'm going to link in the description where she talks about smagents and things to look out for them. I'm going to let you watch that one because she says things way better than I ever could in that department. So, how do you find small presses? Because small presses generally aren't on Query Tracker. So, what I would do is I would go to Twitter. Twitter is a great place to find anything about publishing. Go on Twitter, search the hashtag #PitDark or the hashtag #PitMad. Those are two Twitter hashtags that people use during certain times as Twitter pitch contests, basically. So what you can do, and you can do it for any genre. They have a DV pit, they have On Voices pit, they have different kinds of pitch contests. Pit stands for pitch contest. So what you can do is you can look up, let's say the ones I've used are #PitDark and #PitMad. So up where it says search, you can type in hashtag #PitDark, hashtag #PitMad. You can see the agents who have liked or commented on the pitches, and you can see the small presses who have liked or commented on the pitches. Write down, look at the pitch, see if it's anything that would match your book, and then write down that agent or that small press before you research them to see if you want to query them. If you've not noticed, there's a lot of research in this part of the query process. I want to make one thing kind of clear about Twitter though. Never, ever, ever pitch your book in a DM either to an agent or to a small press or a publisher. Never, ever do that. Go to their website. They will usually have it linked in their bio, and they will tell you exactly what they want from you when you query. So Twitter is just a tool to find people to see if you want to query them or see if they represent something that you query. So don't use the DMs to pitch your books, because I'm pretty sure that would be annoying. Okay, once you know where to find agents and publishers, how do you know who to query and when to query? I have that information for you right now. Here's the things to look for. Number one, you need to look for agents or publishers in your genre, and also make sure they do fiction or nonfiction. Some agents or publishers only publish nonfiction, some only do fiction. You need to figure that out. That's part of your research. This is what you're researching. When I say research, this is what I mean that you need to be looking for when you decide if you want to send a query to an agent. The first thing you need to look for is the genre that they represent or they publish under. Make sure it's fiction or nonfiction depending on your particular book and what the agent or publisher does. Number two, you need to find an agent or publisher that publishes in your age range. And I mean your book's age range, not your age range, of course. Some agents only do middle grade, some do middle grade young adult, some only do young adult, some only do adult. They will tell you on their website what they represent. So it's up to you to do the research to find out what they represent. If they don't represent your age group, mark them off the list. Next, you need to find out if the agent is even open to queries. That's a good part about Query Tracker. You can see who's open to queries, who's closed to queries. If they're closed to queries now, put a little star by them wherever you're keeping up with your queries, if it's on the computer or if it's in a notebook, and you can know, write down when they're going to open to queries if they say, and then you can query them later if you've not been picked up yet. Also, if you want to spend $25 a month, you can get a subscription to Publishers Marketplace. Publishers Marketplace tells all the deals from all the agents. It tells if it's a good deal, a nice deal. It's pretty eye-opening, actually. $25 a month if you're interested. Now, This is what you need to do with that information now that you have researched it. You've researched the agents, you've researched the publishers, you have your list of everything you need to know about the agents. You have narrowed it down based on genre, you have narrowed it down based on age range of your characters in your book, you've narrowed it down based on who you would like to work with. Now, you have your list, you have your agents batched, you've checked on the submissions, you've checked out their bios, you know what you're supposed to send them, meaning when you go to an agent's website, it will tell you what they want you to send. Either just a query synopsis, 5 to 10 pages of sample pages, a synopsis. Do they want a short synopsis, a long synopsis, whatever? Write down what they want you to send and then double check before you send it. Everybody's is different, and don't assume that all agents are going to want a query, a short bio, a short synopsis, and 5 pages. No. And then you need to know if they want it in a Word doc or if they want it copied and pasted in the email, because that's different too. Some people won't even open attachments, so be sure you know all of that before you even start writing your query letter. So I know this is a long video, and this is even before you start writing your query letter. Please, please don't let this overwhelm you. This is actually really good. It weeds out some of the agents, or a lot of the agents that you know you're not going to query to because they don't fit your genre. They don't fit your book's age range, and that actually helps a lot because querying can be so overwhelming, and this helps. It makes you have control over it. It helps you narrow down your list, and I think it's a great thing to do. So if you want the Cliff Notes version of this really long video, this is what you need to do to decide on who to query. You need to find agents or publishers. You need to look at their clients or their sales records. Then you need to put a few of those batches in different groups to send out into the world. And I will tell you why you're going to do small batches out into the world in Thursday's video. Again, make sure you subscribe if you want to see all that and how to write a query letter. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when it comes out. It may seem like a lot, but working on all this before you even send one query will actually help you write your queries. So yeah, it's good to do on the front end, because once you get all this done in the front, you can just send it all out at the end. So it's really helpful to do. All right, remember Thursday's video is on how to write a query. We're going to go over some basic points and basic parts and maybe things you've never thought of when you write a query, so be sure to watch that video. Now it's time for the poll. What would you like to see a topic in next week's video? So here's a poll so you can help me. Number 1, would you like to see my May reading writing wrap up? Number 2, would you like to know things that you need to know before you sign an agent contract or a small publisher contract? Or 3, would you like to know the horror tropes that I love to read? So we have 1 writing, 1 publishing, and 1 reading choice for you to figure out. So be sure to tell me which one you want to see. I'll link the how to write a query video after it's released. I'll put it up here after it's released on Thursday, so you can go from here to there when it all comes out. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you can think of anything that I missed on who to query for your manuscript, leave it in the comments so we can talk about it, so everybody else can kind of get other ideas if I didn't cover all of them, which I may not have. If you like videos on writing, reading, publishing, editing, all the things, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I write young adult horror, young adult ghost stories, middle grade, all the things. I also have a pen named Marty K who writes curvy girl romances. Woo. If this video was any way likable to you, please hit the like button so I know it's videos like this that you want to keep seeing in the future. If you want to see more up-to-date things on what I do in my daily writing life, please follow me on Instagram at Kelly Martin Author. I have some new abandoned house photographs. I love going abandoned house hunting. I like going to see old houses, especially in the South. I don't think it's something they have in California. I have a friend that lives in California. She's like, you have abandoned houses there? We have a lot. And I go and take pictures of them as inspiration for my books. So I have all those pictures that we took this weekend because yesterday was my anniversary, and for my anniversary present, my husband took me abandoned house hunting. I know. I know. But, so yeah, all those are on my Instagram page, and my pen name, Marty K, has an Instagram, brand new Instagram. It's Marty K Author if you want to check out Sweet Romance, Marty K. Subscribe to my newsletter for more information on book releases and sales. You can find it at kellymartinbooks.com. Be sure to vote in the poll so we know what we're talking about next week, and I will see you in the next video.